All right, guys, so what we are out here to do today is just for the sake of experimenting. I have my EcoFlow Delta. This is a 1300 series power station. Gives me my 6 110 outlets here, my 12-volt jack right there. On the other side, I got all my USB connections, everything else. This provides 1,300 watt hours of energy, as well as up to 1,800 watts worth of output. Now, that's cool. This is big, but what we don't know and what I don't know, is it enough to power my 16,000 BTU air conditioning system in this trailer? If you don't remember, we installed the Furrion air conditioning system on top. You can't see it from here, but it's definitely on top. We wired it to a 110 outlet here, so I can simply plug it in to my EcoFlow, and we got it from etrailer.com. Got the EcoFlow from EcoFlow, so that was provided for review and evaluation, and I don't think anybody else has tried to do this yet. So, the benefit of the Furrion air conditioning system is that it actually has a soft start system built into it. So it's designed to be able to start up under a lower load than some air conditionings generally have to start up as. That's one of the reasons why they claim you can run 2 of the Furrion units off of 1 generator versus having to have a large generator to power both of them. So we have the extension cord plugged in, the AC's off. I am going to go ahead and turn the EcoFlow on down here. And then I'm going to turn my 110 outlet on right here. So right now, not pulling any current. So we're going to flip on the air conditioner and see what happens. Okay, we're inside of the trailer. I'm pretty sure it'll power the fan without an issue, but we'll go ahead and turn the fan on. There we go, it's blowing air. I'll put the mic in front so you can hear it. So, we have air coming out from the fan. Let's go take a look at the output on the EcoFlow to see what it's registering. Okay, we are pulling 71 watts with just the fan. What I'm going to do now is flip on the air conditioner and see what happens. Okay, we're back in. It's on fan. Let's put it on cool. Doesn't look like it worked. Let's take a look at the EcoFlow. Okay, so just turning it on air conditioning, went ahead and put it in protect mode. I had to go ahead and turn my AC outlets back on. Let's go back in here and check again. And when I put it on cool, it shut off again. Yep, so this does not have the strength to power the 16,000 BTU air conditioning system that I have on here. If I had a 13,500 or maybe a 12,000, possibly, but I still don't think it would be enough. And what it does is it simply turns off the AC outlets as part of its protection mode. Let's try some other experiments here. So next we're going to see if we can power on this 30-liter dehumidifier. Very common, larger dehumidifier you might see for an RV. This pulls about 3.5 to 4 amps, so this shouldn't have any problem powering on. But let's find out. Should only be about 300 watts roughly. Looking down, 246 watts. And that's with this working on low speed. Let's switch it up to high speed. We have it at its lowest humidity setting. 200 and, let's just say 250 watt output. So this is nowhere near enough to really stress this out, so let's move to something a little bit larger. Okay, so you all may remember this little patent heater. This is what I used to test another power supply with, and it would not let me switch it to full power. So I could run this at 750 watts, I just couldn't run it at the full 1500 watts. So we're going to first start it up at 750 watts and see what the output is here. So it's on number 1, and it's pulling 1,300 watts right now. It's dropping down a little bit. Let's see what it settles to. So on the number 1 setting, this thing's pushing out 1,320 something watts. That's pretty crazy. It should only be about 750 watts on its number 1 setting. Let's switch to number 2 and see what happens. Should be 1,500 watts, which is still less than what this is capable of powering. But let's see what this spikes up to. Alright, so we are on number 2 now. We can see that that's pretty accurate. We're almost at 1500 watts. We have this powered up. It is blowing some nice warm air right now. You can hear the fan kicking in pretty high on the EcoFlow. But again, almost at the 1500 watts. You can see you have roughly 47, 48 minutes worth of usage at this power level. Battery's still 95% full. Let's drop it back down to number 1. You can see instantly the power output dropped 1300-ish. So it can power one of these for a little less than an hour if you are doing it at its lower setting. At its higher setting, it jumps up a couple hundred watts and your usage time drops off, but not by much, I guess. I mean, you still have roughly an hour worth of usage before this is going to be dead. But if you need to heat up a place, or if you're just going to use it intermittently throughout the night if it's really cold in your RV, this is a pretty cool option for you. Alright, so this is going to be an even harder test. So you guys might remember this little space heater, and this is a small space heater, but it has the ability of putting out up to 950 watts worth of power, at least pulling 950 watts worth of power, versus this one. What I want to see is, let's say you have an RV and you need 2 heaters. You need one for the kids that are in the back, and you need one for the bedroom area, which of course you need to be careful using any type of small portable heater like this, because you can potentially cause a fire if you're not careful. But let's check it out. So we got them both hooked up right now. I am going to turn this one on first and let it drop the wattage down to its normal running wattage. But I need to flip it on back here. Hit on. We are pulling about 700, 800 watts. 900. So we are obviously on its high setting. Let's switch it to its low setting. You can see the wattage drop off. So roughly, I don't know, it'll probably drop off to below 800, I imagine. Alright, so let's let this settle down to as low as it looks like it's going to go. So roughly 788, 790 watts. Now we're going to kick this one on to see if I can run both of them. Check that out. 2,125 watts worth of output. They're both running. This is rated to 1,800 watts, and I'm currently pushing out over 2,100 watts. Both heaters are on. They're both pumping out hot air. Now if I crank either one up to their higher setting, it's likely going to shut this down, which I'll demonstrate. You'll hear this beep when I do it. Well, I'm on number 2 setting here. We're at 2,257 watts. We have under 30 minutes worth of life. I thought it would kick it off immediately, but the wattage is clearly showing that it's well over the 1,800 watt output this is rated for. Now I'm going to turn this on its high. Oh, there you go. Shut it off. But that's pretty impressive. So I had this one on low, which pumps out about 700 watts, I believe. I had this one on high, which puts out, shoot, almost, what, 1,500 watts? Both of them combined, we're putting this at 2,100, 2,200 watts. This is an 1,800 watt unit, and it was actually allowing both of them to run. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and hit the button here to reset it. Should kick this one on instantly. This one I have to turn on with a button. You can see we're at 1,500. Actually, it may have... You can hear the fan kicking on here. Let's drop this one back down to number 1. So we are at 1,325 watts. Let's kick this one back on. I'm going to put it on low because I don't want it running at its full. Look at that, 2,300, almost 2,350. You can see it dropping down. but it's not going into safety. It's not overloading it, which is crazy because, again, this is rated at 1800 watts. And I'm consistently right now, this isn't just a surge, I'm consistently putting over 2000 watts out. That is really cool. That just shows you that they kind of underrated this unit. Yeah, you're only going to get it for roughly 30 minutes, but if you're using it in small spurts, I think that that might be enough for some people, especially if you're in a cold environment or you want to get heat to more than one area. Super cool. This actually really impressed me. I did not expect that. And again, 2,100 watts roughly of output. 30 minutes time. That is very cool. I'm going to kick this on number 2. Oh. And it went into safety. And I think it went into safety and it shut off right before I clicked that to number 2. So it seemed like it caught it right before I was about to upgrade. So it essentially saw that it was running at a high wattage and it decided to go into safety. But it let me run at that wattage for quite a bit of time. And that is pretty cool. A lot of these, the minute they go over what they're rated for, they'll go into safety. So that is cool, and I didn't expect it. Anyways, guys, I told you I'd want to do more tests and evaluation with this. This shouldn't have any problem running your traditional 1000 watt or even 800 watt microwave that are in RVs. This shouldn't have any issue running a refrigerator in an RV. Most of those are going to run at about 300 to 500 watts max. So this should give you plenty of power to run something like that. The thing you want to keep your eye on, of course, is how long it's going to run it for. Do you need to run it just consistently without stop? Because if you do, that's where this will show its weakness. You're going to have to charge it and get it to a position where it has enough power to run it for any length of time. And that's where the solar panel option comes in handy. That's where your wall plug option comes in handy. And the fact that this charges up so quickly, in roughly 2.5 hours, you're going to be at 100% charge. And that is a very, very good feature of this EcoFlow power station. Anyways, guys, I will put a link in the description of this video if this is something you're interested in. Again, they did provide this to me at no charge for review and evaluation, and so far it's been working really well, and I'm very satisfied with it. The fact that I was able to run this heater on its number 2 setting, whereas one of the other power stations that was also really large, it's roughly twice the size of this, wouldn't run this on its number 2 setting or its higher setting, is impressive to me. And I ran 2 heaters. Yes, it eventually tripped it and went into an overload mode, but the fact that it allowed me to run well over 2,000 watts for a relatively long period of time is pretty impressive. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.